All right, call the meeting to order. Matt, you want to go ahead with the business administrator's comments?
Okay, so let me start here at the top. The auditorium, the vendor is starting their installation of the upgrades to the auditorium on the 30th, except for the lights. And also the audio and video equipment hasn't been delivered. Okay, so we're just starting the project at the end of January. Let's see. At Bakey Elementary, we have 4 circulator pumps out of 6 that are not related to the new boiler installation that are beginning to fail. We're replacing 2 of the pumps, and we're rebuilding 2 pumps to be reinstalled. And so it's going to continue operating even if they fail. It's just that it's not efficient. Let's see, Memorial. We're discussing solutions for the large puddle in front of the building. In the winter, a large ice slick forms and may cause slips and falls. So we're considering installing a catch basin. We're also talking about putting a water bar on the entrance of the driveway, because what happens is the water's coming off the roadway and going down the driveway and collecting in front of the lawn. Now, at the high school and middle school, we're having problems with our HVAC system. We have 3 motors that we need to replace. We also need to replace seals on one of the pumps. We need to replace a heat exchanger, and the heat exchanger is off the where the shops are, because in that part of the building we have a glycol system, and it's there's an expansion tank that failed, and the pressure built up in the heat exchanger, and it perforated. It looks like a radiator, and it perforated that. So we need to replace the heat exchanger. Okay. And then we also have 1 valve that we need to replace, but that valve we can't turn off until after the heating system. So we're going to do that in the spring. Also, one of the number 2 pump on the septic water system for the leach fields has failed. So unlike Bakey, it's a more modern system. It just requires the pump to either be rebuilt or replaced. Now, we're still looking at repairing the loading dock stair. The next thing we're working on is the GFI outlets. We have a vendor, Levitron, which is our original GFI outlet. They say that the GFIs last about 13 years. And they've been in the building for over 18, and they're popping. So they've pretty much worn out. So we're replacing them, and they're going to sell it to us at cost. So they sent us samples. We just sent in what we're going to order, and we should be getting those replaced in the next month. Let's see. We have a small sinkhole.
Not a hole.
Okay. So actually I was looking at it. So at these are the leach fields at the high school, and I have it up on the screen here. So the sinkhole is right over here at the head of this leach field. It's in the walkway.
Okay, so
yeah, yeah. So that's the back of the school.
No, this is the front. This is the front entrance, right?
Okay, so
Yeah, and this is the loop. The sinkhole is right here on the walkway that goes to the gymnasium.
Okay.
It's only about like this big, but if you go underneath, it's opening up to like this, and so there's a pipe that got crushed somehow. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig it out and put in a sleeve in there, fill it, and then put new asphalt over it. So, let's see. Library roof leak. We actually have an update on this. We put plastic over the windows just to make sure that, we're hoping to have like a driving rain and eliminate the windows as a possibility, and it's still coming in. So it's coming in through the siding. Okay, I've also put on the assessments. We've had several different vendors come in and look at it, and I gave you guys a Google Drive to look at the assessments. We have 4 different companies, and they're all
Can I interrupt
recommending.
you for a minute, Matt?
Yeah,
Matt, can I interrupt you for a minute?
absolutely.
So of those 4 vendors, I read all of them. Queen City Glass, well, a couple of them said they thought it was the windows and they made some recommendation to narrow down the causes. But now
Okay.
you're telling us it's the siding?
Yeah, well, I'm telling it's a siding based upon an email that I had with the librarian yesterday. I had Dan go out and put plastic over the windows so that we caulked around the windows and we put plastic over the windows, and it's still getting in. So at this point, I'm saying it's not coming in around the windows. I do have to say, even though the windows are not installed correctly,
Yeah, that's what I read,
the windows are not flashed right.
correct. Yeah, so it's like putting in a slider, with no flashing, it's gonna leak.
Yeah, exactly. But I put plastic around it. So, like if you take your window frame and you go beyond the window, there shouldn't be, and there's driving rain, it's just going to hit the plastic. It's not going to get in behind where the flashing would normally be.
That confuses me based on the inspections that those 4 professionals did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, you have 4 professional companies come in and they all came to pretty much the same conclusion.
Yeah. We also have another company coming in and they're actually going to peel back the siding and the windows. They're going to take pictures and come up with specifications so we can actually do a full proposal, like a detailed proposal to hand out to vendors to get done. My problem is if we fix around the windows, like what was proposed, it should be like the plastic. It's the area that was the plastic was put around the windows would be like the fix around the windows, but the roof is still leaking. So it can't be just the windows.
Yeah. Okay, so understood. You still have to fix the windows,
Yeah, we still have to fix the windows.
so.
So the Queen City Glass suggested that you do one window unit and do a water test on that. And that'll tell you whether it's if you repair the one window, whether it's just the window or not, or whether it's more than that. If you look at their last, they give 4 recommendations. And then they said what they suggested how you proceed is to do that on one window unit and then do the water.
I'd be game to do it on one window. Just be aware that we have to peel back the siding and we don't think that we could get the siding to go back up on the building. So that what's being proposed is that they're going to try to match the siding as best they can.
I should just cut out a chunk and just do an accent. It's as simple as.
Yeah, what about Dawn's idea?
We have
Just
so many
don't even
different
try to match it.
colors,
do something
textures on the
different.
building. You can make a nice, because obviously the siding all around it it's falling apart. It's a huge problem. So, I mean,
What is it? Is it clapboard? What kind of siding?
It's like, you haven't seen it? It's like press board.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
in one of those
yeah.
pictures, it looks like it's all just expanding.
Yeah.
So if we just cut out a wide section on each side of the window and just put like a nice trim board in there to transition, and then you just do something completely different in there, we're done.
Okay.
And that allows us to fix whatever problems we need to. We're not gonna match it. It's gonna, and even if we get something close, it's gonna look a lot worse than if we just do something different and make it look like we did it on purpose. Just make it look
Yeah, right.
aesthetically pleasing and probably a lot cheaper that way.
Well, I'd be game to do that.
I think that's a great idea, but I also think you need to do the suggestions on the windows themselves.
Right. But I think we can go in there.
At least try that one window to see whether that fixes the problem with the windows.
Okay, sure, we'll do that. All right, so, general facilities, we've been talking about bringing up a Ventrac tractor. We want to ask your opinion on it. This would be replacing the Toro snow blower. And let's see, I think I put up a quote for this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the agenda item. It's later on in the discussion. Let me see if I can get
Is this different than what we talked about at the school board meeting on the 18th?
Before the school board meeting. No, it's the same piece of equipment.
Okay,
So-
the whole school board talked about that, I think.
No,
We just talked about the van.
that's correct.
Okay, I got them mixed up, sorry.
Yeah, so the Ventrac it's like a tractor, and you can have different attachments that you can put on it, okay? And one of them is a snow blower, but we can also use it, have a multi-season use for it. Right now, that Toro snow blower can only be used in the winter, okay? So what I want to do, or what I'm trying to get my staff to do is if you're going to get this piece of equipment, can we replace some of the summer equipment? Like there's a mower, there's a finishing mower at the high school that I get complaints about people driving. And can we get a finished mower attachment for it to do the football field? So I can get rid of two pieces of equipment and have one instead.
What do they use currently for, like, because I know on here there's stuff for like baseball field and stuff
Yeah.
like that, grooming and all that. What does that do? What do we use for that right now? Is that done by hand? We have a piece of equipment that does all of
Yeah.
the ballpark grooming.
Some of the baseball stuff, we actually have to hire out to another guy who's got a specialized piece of equipment for it.
How much is that?
I don't think it's gonna be enough to buy the attachment. I think we're probably still gonna rent that out. Okay,
So it shouldn't be on here.
well, no,
This is everything.
this is everything.
Yeah, so-
Okay, this shows you what the
Options
scope
are basically.
of the options are, okay?
Cause there's like on here, there's something that's on here twice. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
Like the 3-point hitch, I think is on here twice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's,
Ballpark renovator,
Yeah.
ballpark groomer,
Yeah.
groomer brush, groomer dragger, you know, so like. I think I would, for me to make it, you know, to take a look at this, I would need to see what this is replacing. What we're gonna be able to sell that equipment for, what revenue you're gonna get from selling that equipment that you have on hand that you're saying this is replacing. And then, you know. Warranty on this, all that stuff.
Yeah, so,
we did already figure out, cause they asked about maintenance on it and making sure there's somebody local that could do the maintenance on it and the warranty work. And we figured it out. It was somebody, was it like Derry or
Yeah,
something like that? Where there was actually somebody close by that actually takes it there and works on
They
it.
come and pick it up.
That's what we were gonna look into, was whether they do the pickup drop off. Cause that was another piece that I thought was important, because we don't need to pay somebody to drive it.
Is there something similar that like maybe M&B has up the road?
yeah, so,
That was the other.
one of the things that we would be asking them to do is like, this is the piece of equipment we want. Do you have something else that's in your, not inventory, but what you would sell that's similar to it? And spec that out as well, okay? So, the piece of equipment that I'm trying to get my staff to give up is a Walker mower. And it's a small, 0-turn mower. But it's a finish mower. And you've not seen one. They're the little yellow ones that landscapers use.
I feel like Wayne's on.
Matt, is this equipment going to be able to maneuver in little areas like that
Wayne's on.
mower you're talking about replacing?
It makes the fields look beautiful.
Those
I'm sorry, Jim.
0-turn motors can operate in some really small spaces.
Right, so we have 3 0-turn mowers, okay? If we get the Ventrac, I can't say that 4 mowers is reasonable, okay? We'd have to give up one. And that's what I told my staff. And for me, right now, I'm saying the Walker mower is the one that we should probably give up. But the problem is The Walker mower is a finished mower and it's used for the football field. So this Ventrac would have to have the same quality of mowing
Right.
So why really are we getting this piece of equipment?
because we have a Toro piece of equipment that is came with from the seminary building.
Uh-huh.
And it only gets used during the winter. It's just a piece of equipment that fits in the garage. It is old. We spend a lot of money on it and maintaining it, and it only is just one season. So
It's being used for what, the walkways when it snows
Yes,
at the high school?
yes,
And what are we doing at Bakey in the morning?
they have snow blowers. Yeah, so this would be a piece of equipment that would mainly stay at the high school in the wintertime doing the walkways, okay? But we'd also get like the broom attachment for it, where we would sweep all the parking lots with it, which we don't have that capability right now, other than just blowers. Okay, and then a mower attachment.
Alright, so you're gonna reach out to some other people about comparable equipment?
Yeah.
I heard?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, I just want to make sure you're all okay. I'm gonna go out, we're gonna do a Ventrac and ask them to do quote something similar. Okay, and we're gonna get 3 bids, and I'm also gonna get a formal lease proposal. Okay, from a leasing company.
And what about financing?
Yeah, I'm gonna get an official proposal for financing. And it's gonna be a lease.
And the cost benefit analysis that Rick and Dawn asked about is gonna be part of
Yes.
the data?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the lease you'll pay hour too, right? I think most of the leases are wear and tear based upon the hour.
No, we're gonna be paying an annual fee because it would be a lease purchase.
To include maintenance.
No. No, on the maintenance side, one of the things that I've been trying to push my staff into, the shop class wants to get into small engine repair. And I want,
$50,000 piece of equipment.
but changing oil and spark plugs is not,
It depends, it can void a warranty though.
Exactly.
yeah,
And
if it's gonna avoid a warranty,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's not gonna avoid a warranty, I think it's important that
No disrespect to the kids in shop class, but
Right.
to your point, warranty.
Warranties are
can't be
huge,
avoided.
and I
Yeah.
did ask Matt about that, before I kind of brought that concern out to him as well, so.
okay.
Yeah, we're on the same page now,
Okay,
which is why we looked into two services as well. And tried to make sure there was somebody local and we weren't an
Yeah,
hour and a half down in Massachusetts or way up in Maine.
yeah, we have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
You have one in Plastic, you got M&B,
mm-hmm,
Brentwood,
Mhm.
right across the street on that. But M&B's.
Yeah.
Pretty big name, and you got the.
And then there's
the one-
Chapel and, Brentwood,
Chapel, that's what they got.
Yeah, Chapel.
125,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then down the other
Yep.
side. Yeah,
Yep.
so you,
yeah.
I
And
try
then
to
there's
keep it,
another,
there is a little bit of height, because if you do have to, we do have to haul it somewhere, it's,
yeah,
it's
agreed.
costly.
yeah, well, and that's why I also had asked, we should look into, do they do pickup drop off for their maintenance? Cause I know like, for the MB tractor, I know that part of the service plan, my grandfather had the tractor, my sister and I were doing all of it, is we would just call them up, they'd come pick it up, they'd do the service on it and they drop it back off.
Yeah.
So if there was something like that.
Yeah.
It's worth it if they're local, yep, it's part of the maintenance package or warranty work or whatever, like it's worth it to have.
Yeah, and again, just, I think, for me, I'd like to see a list of equipment with ages that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and then I'd really like to see why. Cause so far I heard that we're getting it to push snow or blow up snow, and then we can use it to sweep and stuff, but. If it's a large expenditure, then we can accomplish, we can keep 3 0-point mowers that actually have more use in tight spaces. Versus just replacing a snow blower or a Toro blower or whatever with something for that purpose. And it's a lot less money. I just wanna look at all options, that's all.
Yeah, good
So-
point.
And the other thing, I don't know if they quoted out in here, which I'm guessing they. If you're looking to push snow. Are they looking to also have the cab? Is that, I don't remember seeing that in the quote either. just the snow blower attachment, because that's a whole nother price point that we haven't even.
Yeah,
talked
no,
about.
I-
Talking about the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked them, they weren't asking for the cap.
Okay, fine, just wanna make sure we're. Not going, oh yeah, we forgot to put that in. It's like, can't imagine.
No,
Wipers and-
I'm more interested in listening to what you guys have to say at this point, okay? So that when we go and get the proposal, it's in line with what your thoughts are, okay? Okay, Jim, are you okay that I jump onto the trust funds?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Okay, so I was able to get the December statements. So for this, well, special education expendable trust fund, we have $242,819. For the capital improvement and maintenance capital reserve fund, we have $325,258. For the unanticipated educational expenses, we have 251, oops, I just erased that.
I was gonna say, where'd that go?
Yeah, $251,925. And then for the unanticipated utility costs, $75,550. And I'm over here, I'm just making a rough estimation of what your annual interest rate is for the investments. We're at 2.84%. And what it is just taking the month to date and dividing it by the total dollar amount times 12. So, I mean, it's just a rough guesstimate of what your annual interest rate is. Okay. And then,
But these rates are no longer fixed interest rates, right? Isn't some of this in investments now?
yeah. So what they've done is they're saying that during the month of December, their investments for this particular fund earned $178. And what I'm trying to tell you is that equates to about 2.8% on an annualized basis. So you can kind of gauge like how well the trustees of trust funds are investing. Okay.
Right, that's if that stayed steady for the year.
Yeah. So then
Right.
the facility use revolving fund is $181,383. And then, of course, I got the contingency fund at 2.5%, which is $537,817. Total reserves is 1.6 million.
All right.
Okay. Now, for new items, what we have for facility use, we have several facility use change forms. The first one is we received a bike rack donation, and we're asking to have it installed at the middle school. And this is the actual bike rack. And we would have to mount it to the ground. I think we should paint it blue.
Are there any bike racks there now?
No,
Is this going to be sufficient for the number of bikes?
Oh, there's none now.
No,
I know.
No, I know, but if we put one there, are we going to have to put in 3 more?
I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have that many kids riding their bikes to school.
Especially not down 111, unless you live real
Yeah.
close, I don't think you're. Riding down 111.
I think this is so Liam can drive to school. Their son. That's my guess. They're big bike ad, so that's my guess. But yeah, I would. Is that something the shop class can do? Sand that down and then paint it.
I can ask them to do that because we do have a paint
It's a good
shop.
project for them. I'd let them do that.
Yeah.
It looks like it needs to be sanded and all that, and then have them paint it.
Yep.
And
So
our
I
people
need-
will install it, Matt?
Yeah, our people are going to install it. So I just need this committee's approval to
Motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor?
oh,
Dawn?
it's-
Roll call vote.
Rick?
Yes.
Dawn, you said yes?
yes,
Yes for myself. And by the way, I need to announce where I am. We forgot that.
oh yeah.
So Jim Baker, I'm in a private home in Sun City, Florida, and there's no one in the room with me.
Yeah, and Rick Edelman, I'm not in Sun City, Florida. It's cold and snowy and very jealous. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel your pain.
Ditto.
Yeah.
And just to note
I
here, I know
understand.
they did want to make sure that on this donation of the bike rack, it looks, when you go down, you scroll all the way down, it looks like they would like it to be, that this was donated by Liam Sands, so as the primary donor, so thank you to Liam.
Yep,
Yes.
Okay,
just something we should maybe announce.
Yeah, I think you should
School
say
board
that,
meeting,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
All
he
right.
did all the work, so he should get the
Yeah.
credit for it.
the next one is class of 2021. And I gotta get it to load. And what they'd like to do is gift 2 cherry blossom trees and a plaque. And they're gonna work with the grounds department to order the trees and coordinate with planting and erecting a plaque. Let's see what the plaque would look like.
Says, class of 2021 senior gift, if you want your child's mind to grow, you must first plant the seed. I love that. I think they
There
did
it
a great
is.
job with that.
Yep.
Yep,
Where are they thinking of, where would it go?
Well, where would you like it to go? So right now it's an undetermined location in the high school campus. And actually that plan right here, we can't put it right there.
right,
We
right.
can't put it right here.
No.
Okay,
You can't put it on where that blacktop basketball thing is, right? 'Cause
That's-
expansion.
that's over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could put it on the end of the building right here. If you want to be high school, the end of the building right here,
Right.
you could
I was
put it
gonna
in.
say, could we put one in the middle there? Does that impact anything?
Well, right here is the flagpole. Okay, you could put it maybe behind the flagpole, but I'm assuming it's closer to here. Another location, these have all been paved over.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
And another locations would be out back here. We could put it back here.
Is that where the drop off is?
that's right outside the lunchroom, yeah. One there would be nice, and then could we split them up, could we do, or are they
Yeah.
supposed to go together?
Yeah,
Or we could put it along right here
I was gonna
along
say,
the,
or over, somewhere
over
so
by
you
the
can see it from
bank.
the fields,
yeah,
or you could do
With
both
a-
there and
With a
one
lot
there,
of
maybe.
blooming trees, you need a male and a female. Is that why there's 2
probably.
Yeah,
in proximity to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
So we can recommend back here. Or along the side right here. I'd almost be afraid to put them out here behind the gym.
Yeah,
Because the trees that have been there, they've been trimmed back.
yeah,
So eventually this tree would get,
really.
trimmed.
Isn't there an area where the kids play soccer, like that thing? Isn't there an area there?
I think the kids play soccer is over here.
Right.
It's, yeah, so I think anywhere to either side of that walkway,
Sure.
I think would be a great visual. Everybody can see it from all the sports fields.
The only thing I would do is on the left with the track, right? We just spent all that money on the track.
Right, that's true. with
Along the
the
tree,
little
yeah,
tree
so-
falling in.
I try to keep it away from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, the soccer field would be,
Okay,
But I agree, that walkway where the sports and everything is. and the gym
Over
wanna
here.
keep them Together.
yeah,
all right,
yeah, somewhere over by the soccer fields would be nice.
okay.
Then
Put it
again,
on.
I mean, I think, we can also ask to make sure that that's not gonna
Yes.
impact the playing field.
If it's up on the bank, it'll actually stop the ball from going.
Seriously,
See that?
it goes in that.
I see the ball get kicked over the wall and maybe it'll hit the tree and come back down.
We need a fence there.
Okay,
Oh, gosh, a whole nother problem. I tell you how many times the poor goalie would crawl down into the brush and, oh.
all right, so
So,
I
Matt?
need, yes,
They said they were gonna work with the custodians and
Yeah.
an advisor to get the trees. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay, so possibly they should work with that custodian as well to make sure the suggestions for where to put the tree aren't any issues for them.
Yeah, so they would be working with one of the grounds people.
Sits
Yep.
here.
Okay, So it'd be Wayne. I put it down in the notes to advise Wayne that the preference is to have it near the soccer field.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course Wayne is going to go in and he's going to tell us what the problem would be about putting it in that location. He may suggest another
Yeah,
location.
That's fine.
We're
If he's
open to
got
feedback.
another location that he thinks is better, we're open to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. He's the
Um,
one that is out there, you
Yeah,
know,
if we're gonna plan them, let's plan them so no big move.
right, so.
Okay.
You need a motion,
Yes, please.
move to approve?
Second,
Okay, roll call vote. Rick,
yes,
Dawn,
Yes,
and yes for myself.
Okay. The next one here is, these are facility use change forms for window film and security barriers. I'm not expecting you guys to approve them right now. If you want to approve them, great. What we're trying to do is we're trying to actually spec these out. Okay. I have until February to spec them out and then get 3 quotes. I'm following the federal procurement policy that we have as a school board, okay? And then I'm gonna bring it back to this committee for approval before we pull the trigger on purchasing or doing any of this work, okay? So what a window film is, it's like turning your windows into safety glass, okay?
yeah,
So it's actually difficult to break through the window. We had to get permission from the fire department
okay,
because they would have problems trying to get through with an axe. Okay. So that's what a window film does. It doesn't stop like a bullet, but it will stop someone from, they could shoot the window, but they couldn't bust it open. Okay. The security barriers, I put it in the directory, but I didn't link it up because I don't want this out in the public because it's a floor plan. But I want you to see on the screen, it's starting to kind of come out that this was in the quote. In the grant application to the federal government. And it's starting to come out that the bollards are more cost effective because the state didn't give us the entire amount of money that we requested. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to spec out bollards. We're trying to get a big block of granite to go in front of the high school because we think it would be aesthetically pleasing. But the location would be a bunch of bollards right here in front of the main entrance. A bunch of bollards in front of the entrance for the middle school right here. There would be a bunch in front of the bus loop.
Yeah.
Okay. There would be one at each of the doors right here in the back of the building. Okay. You don't need them right here in front by the cafeteria because there are rocks, okay,
Right.
that prevent people from driving through.
Right.
And then we would have a bunch right here at the entrance to the athletic. Okay. And so those would be to prevent a vehicle from going through the front of the building.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is some of them are going to be fixed and some of them we're going to try to make it so that you can actually pull the bollard out so you can,
Right.
okay. All the bollards are going to be sleeves. So if someone damages one, we can just take the sleeve off and put another one on. The other thing that I've heard the high school principal talk about specifically is they can get socks to go over them with some sort of saying on them. So it'd be like, welcome to Sanborn High School or some sort of athletic thing, just to be decorative. Okay. So the kind of bollards we're looking at is specifically the ones I've been pulling up are JR Hose bollards. Oops. Let me go back. JR Hose is a large, they do a lot of iron castings. So like they're more known for like their manhole covers. Okay. So for Bakey, we were in Memorial, we're thinking of bollards like this. Here, let me move Jim out of the way. like something that's more classic, like the one that's on the screen.
And that's a slave.
That's a sleeve. Okay. For the high school, we're thinking of these right here. Let me see if I can bring up the product line.
Matt, what happens if you have to bring something into the building on a piece of equipment?
Well, that's why you talked about the removable ones, right?
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
they're completely removable?
yeah. You'd have to
Okay.
put a cap in the hole,
Right.
and then you can go over that area.
So it's more than just the sleeve, it's the whole base of it is removable.
Well, it's like a post in concrete, so you
Yeah.
got to cast the post in a specific way where you can pull it back out of the concrete.
Yeah, just let me jump in, because I think my understanding is the removal ones are more costly than permanent ones. So we're not putting it all removable, we're putting in permanent bollards, and then we're putting in removable ones just for access to the doors.
For certain ones.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but only like at the front door, it might be 4 of them.
Right.
Out of 8.
Right,
Right.
because you need to get, just
Right.
enough room to get a forklift or something from.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I was looking at that drawing, it looked like you had, in the front entrance of the high school, it looked like you had 2 rows of bollards. Did I misread that?
Probably.
Maybe one was the opening doors to the entrance.
Right
Yeah,
here.
it's the
So
little
the
red
bollards are the red ones.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
And I don't know that, I don't think the dots are representative of how many we need, right?
No,
Yeah, because
no, this was for my
Yeah.
grant application.
the idea is to stop vehicles, not.
Yeah,
Right.
So- I've asked Brian Gray, who does the business class,
Mhm.
to Photoshop in the bollards into the pictures of the buildings and try to get the numbers correct. Okay, right now we don't have the spacing correctly.
Right.
Okay, and we're trying to spec out the bollards right now. So when I'm going to come to you with quotes and everything, I'm also going to come to you with pictures.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. And I like the choices on the bollards personally, I think those look good.
Yeah, so this is the one for the high school, and we were thinking of the domed top as
Yeah.
opposed to the flat top.
Yeah.
Anything with a less sharp edge on it.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Somebody
the
to
same
whack
thing.
themselves as they're walking by.
Okay.
Well, we talked about a bench, and I reminded people that a school that I worked at had a bench. And the guy was looking at his phone, walking toward the school, and broke a leg
Yeah.
on the bench. So
Yeah.
it was his fault, but the bollards are,
Yeah.
they sold me on not doing a bench.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
We do have a quote from and I think it might be Rock of Ages
Okay.
for a block of granite, and it was like $40,000 or $50,000 just for a block of granite.
Right.
Okay, and it would have to take a huge machine to
I
put
was
it in
gonna
there.
say, I'm sure the cost of just located there is gonna.
Yeah. Let's see, the next thing is custodial update and RFP approval. What I've done is I pulled together an RFP. This is what I want to formally put out. It describes what the work to be done is into the area that needs to be cleaned. And this is just to complete the discussion about doing an ROI on contracted services as opposed to doing it in-house. Okay, right now I still have 3 contractors working one of the wings, and so this proposal kind of continues that work after July 1st. Okay. I've also extended the contract for our current contractor on a month-to-month basis until such time that we figure this out. I got this together to do it in December so that we could go out in December and get it done for January, but we haven't had any meetings since December.
So this is a proposal for a 3-year contract, is that right?
I believe that it is.
I didn't see anything in there about a satisfaction clause, like if we're not happy with their work, what is the resolution? Other
That
than-
would be part of a contract that we would develop with the selected vendor.
Okay, so this is just the request for the bid,
Yes,
right?
To Jim's point, and not to waste anybody's time, ours or theirs, you should have some kind of KPIs in there, like, even a statement that states, you know, bidder will be expected to adhere to KPIs to be discussed at a later date or something like that.
sure.
And if you want to put them in, you should, but
You
but you can go through this whole RFP process and then put a list of KPIs in front of somebody and then you say, yeah, no, thanks. And then you're back to square one. So
Yeah.
KPIs, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to put them in here.
For the public, could you just explain what a KPI is?
Key performance indicator.
Thank you.
So, you know, what we're gonna actually judge their performance on.
Okay, I'll add that. And then I'm gonna issue this RFP. I'll run that key performance indicators by Rick.
Yeah, and I think you should
Okay.
get some input from your, you know.
Custodians.
yeah,
Sure.
Custodians and,
Dan and
yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next thing is LED light audit. Right now, what we've got to do, what we have is the preliminary data from the light audit. So these are the list of all the fixtures. And they have since given me the final numbers. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building an RFP, and basically that RFP is going to be like this spreadsheet. I'm going to tell them, give me what it would cost for just the lamps, what it would cost for fixtures if you're recommending changing fixtures, and then another column is going to be controls if you recommend it. But then I'm also going to have them highlight which one they recommend. Okay, so that this committee and the school board has a menu of options that they can choose from, because they can just say, if you have someone who just replaces all lamps and everyone is happy with just replacing all lamps, we'll just do that first column.
Right.
But if the board decides that they want to add in controls and just replace lamps, then you have another column where you can pull data from.
Does it include the ROI for each of those columns and the cost for each?
I will ask them for an ROI for each of them.
Right, right. That way we know what the return is for the controls or the fixtures, because
Yeah, it makes it easier to.
yeah, well, it's also transparent for the public, right? This is what we're doing and why, and this is what it will save.
Perfect.
Is it, and the other question that I had is,
So,
is it less expensive to do it, if you're in there taking out all the bulbs, is it quicker and easier to remove the fixtures at that time? So is there savings? I just want to know all the variables. Is there a savings to more, an efficiency savings in terms of the work?
I think they're going to tell you yes, because they want to sell you the fixture.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I'm hearing your question is the labor. Right?
Yeah,
And
my
the labor-
question's the labor.
The answer on labor is always yes, because they're there, right?
Right.
The biggest question is, do you need to replace the fixture? And if you don't replace it.
Right,
Or if the new bulb will save money and it will work in that fixture, why would you replace it?
exactly. Okay,
Change the bulb.
I'm fine with all
But
that.
to your point,
Yeah,
coming out once and being on a ladder and changing a bulb and taking an extra 15 minutes to change out a fixture,
you're already there
you're already there. It's gonna be more cost effective to do it at the time.
at the time that you're there. Okay.
so I've got a bit to say about this. Matt had sent the audit to Jamie, and I had some discussion on the phone with Jamie, who's got 30 years in this business. He did an analysis based on just Memorial School, just replacing the bulbs. And what we didn't have, just replacing the current T8 bulbs with 12-watt LED tubes. And my understanding is the savings comes from the current, a conventional fluorescent light is something like 33 or 34 watts. To get the same illumination from an LED, you only need 9 to 12 watts, probably 12 for a school. So he calculated in using 12 watts in all of Memorial, we'd save in a year 78,926,000 kilowatt hours. So Matt, what is our usage? Is it 17 cents a kilowatt hour?
Wait a minute. I have to think about where I'm going to get that information. Because there's a
Well, you
delivery
had said
charge
that-
and then there's a delivery charge and then there's a generation charge. The generation charge we just did, it's like 14 something. And then I don't have the number off the top of my head, but let's just say 17 cents is an argument.
Okay, so
You said
that's
78,000.
78,926 times 0.17. That's 13,400 something dollars. So a light, an LED light tube costs between $5 and $7, which is what, and Unitil will give us a discount off of that. A cost of an LED fixture, according to Home Depot, is anywhere from $75 to over $1,000. So there's a long, big variation there. Jamie also talked about another option, which an associate of his is very familiar with, which is called direct wire line voltage lamp. And what that does is it takes out the ballasts in the fixtures, because what can happen is you can replace the bulb and the ballasts may be fine, the combination may be fine, or you may have to replace the ballast too. It's a lot cheaper to replace the ballasts and the bulbs than it is to replace a fixture.
Yeah.
Also, if you have to replace a fixture, the next time that something goes wrong with that light, they're not replaceable bulbs. You have to replace the entire fixture. So instead of a $5 to $7 charge, you're looking at a $75 to $1,000 charge, depending on the fixture. But with this direct line voltage lamp, you change out the wiring so you don't have a ballast. You never need a ballast again, but you have to spend some money on an electrician. So I looked at a video that he sent me that this woman did, and she is the product manager responsible for all of Sylvania tubes coming into the United States. And if you have this fixture on the bench, to rewire it for this direct line voltage takes about 5 minutes. So however long it would take an electrician to actually do that, and the cost will be something to consider as well. But this woman has offered to come in for free and just talk to us about the various options that we have. And Jamie's willing to come with her. And if there's an issue with there being a quorum, I'm pretty up to speed on this. I wouldn't really need to be a part of that meeting. But I think we should do that as an interim step before you finalize the RFP to send it out. Because there's quite a bit involved here in terms of matching up costs and in terms of the RFP, pinning down the information we need in order to make the best decision.
So, I think that's all good stuff. Could we not just include that in the RFP? Because, I mean, if it's a common practice, somebody should be able to quote it. Because there's gonna be labor involved, because you gotta take the fixture down, and then you gotta rewire it, and then you gotta put it back up. So,
Yeah,
I still say meet with a person, but why not just include it in the RFP as an option?
yeah, I totally agree with that. I just think before an RFP is sent out, we'd want to meet with her to kind of define it down as best we can, so the RFP is as simple as possible.
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm good.
I tend to believe that that's gonna be expensive. Just, hourly rate of an electrician to take a fixture out, rewire, and put it back up. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to take it out though, I don't think, because the wiring's there. You're just taking out the ballast and then wiring it to the connections for the bulb.
Well,
Yeah, but
and any
You wouldn't want to
vendor,
take the fixture out
Higher.
because that opens up a whole can of worms with what's in the ceiling.
no, I apologize. I meant opening up the fixture, right? Because the ballast
okay.
isn't readily available, right? So
Yeah.
you're disassembling that fixture, which is some time. You know,
okay,
Yeah,
So-
you got to take that face plate off, that diffuser plate,
Yeah,
which is pretty easy, just like changing a bulb. And then the ballast itself is just a little box.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
there.
they just probably cut it out, probably
It's
rewind it.
literally, no, it's literally right there. It's that. It's open here.
Yeah.
It's
I
right
see
there.
it right here too.
Yeah, that's where they are. And those pop out, you squeeze them and they
Yeah, okay.
pop out. It's not
Yeah.
that hard to take.
Yeah,
it
look,
out. And then the
if we're
ballast
gonna-
is usually just held in with like a screw on each side.
No.
It's not.
If we're gonna put the RFP out, let's include all options.
Always.
Mhm.
I like
Okay,
that idea too.
So would you be available for the next meeting?
Yeah, maybe, I mean, before that, if you want.
Do you guys want to meet again?
I don't
Soon?
think,
We can, I just wanna, I don't know if I can say this, but 3:30 for me is not an option moving forward. Like I can't,
Okay,
I can't
so we
do it
can-
in person at 3:30.
Let's do one late at
Well, he
night.
might have to not be here.
right,
if
if Jim's not
Jamie
here, you
comes.
would be remote. If
Oh,
You
Jamie's
could
yeah,
be
in
remote
this
if
place.
Jamie comes.
Yeah, that's fine. If Jamie, if we can do it that way, as long, I can meet remote anytime, but just being, physical somewhere at 3:30.
It wouldn't even have to be a formal meeting. It could be a work session.
Yeah, well, yeah. that's fine.
And then you wouldn't have to be
Maybe
in
we can even
person.
do a Teams, like via Teams. Maybe
Yeah.
we could do
Yeah,
a
you
Teams
don't have
meeting.
to
Right.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe we can meet
Yeah.
via Teams, Jim, that way we can all be on it. Be easy, knock it out that way.
Do you want Jamie to schedule that, or do you want me to
Yeah,
try?
that'd be, yeah. Could you guys, between the two of you?
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, to be clear, like, I don't think we should make any decisions without Jamie and 30 years of experience in this space.
Right.
I agree completely. It's his
I mean,
expertise.
he's an expert.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
So I'll let him know to get in touch with you, Matt.
So Jim, just to be careful, why don't we have Dawn temporarily appoint Jamie to this committee and take you off for one meeting?
That's
Okay.
fine with me.
Yeah.
So for the next meeting, Dawn will temporarily appoint Jamie to the facilities committee and take Jim off.
Yeah. Do that. So.
Whether it's a meeting or a work session.
I think either way, having a quorum of the board is a dangerous road to hoe.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Okay. All right,
I'll
so.
watch the video.
There you go.
All right.
We'll update you.
From Florida.
Yeah, right.
Wink,
Ah,
wink.
Yeah. Yeah, you,
I had to say it, Jim. I
sun,
couldn't
you
let that go.
enjoy the sunshine and we'll
I'm
be up
sorry, I
here.
missed-
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
I missed that, Tom?
I said from Florida.
Yes, yeah.
I had to rub it in.
Oh, rub it in, yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's what I have for LED lights. And then next on the agenda was the vent track, which we spoke about.
Yeah.
The library roof leak, which we spoke about.
What was the outcome of that? I just.
They want me to go in, and rip open one of the windows and reflash it and then put in trim board and try it, see what happens.
Okay.
To Jim's point, all four responses set it to the window and not having flashing and everything else, which, I think you put anything in, a deck, sliding glass door, you don't put flashing in, it's gonna leak.
It's gonna leak.
So that's the least cost.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
it
and one
makes
of the
them-
vendors
You
recommended
gotta
that,
fix that anyway, right?
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Good, thank you. Thank
okay,
you.
so.
Yep.
And then we
Alright.
spoke about the LED lights, and so I guess you're on to your public comments.
With all 0 people present.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
so
good.
are we all set on everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
going back to the safety grant real quick, items 1 through 5 are all being paid for by a grant.
Yeah.
You're just getting quotes for us to review.
yes,
So-
yes,
That's 100%, right, Matt?
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes,
Matt.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you to
Okay.
Dan too. Tell Dan I
Yes.
said thank you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's chasing it down right now. Because the window is tight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
We have to be done by July.
Let's get it done.
so as far as scheduling a meeting with Jamie and that the woman that he's his associate, who's, let me get you her name. It's Jody Belante. Are there, Rick and Dawn, what are the best times for you?
Not Mondays,
Not Monday?
not Monday.
Hey, Jim, Matt can coordinate that for you and set it up. We don't have to set the next meeting time now.
Yeah, why don't we see what her availability is?
Let's see what she's
Well, I'm
available.
just for my information, I want to know what doesn't work.
Okay,
So not Monday, and Rick, you've got a time, Preference, right?
I can try, if I can do it remote.
Yeah.
You know, via, you know,
Yeah.
Teams or whatever.
Just do it as a
I'm
work
pretty
session.
flexible, yeah.
I think you can do that. I just want to double check to be careful.
Yeah, that's
Because
fine.
all the rules changed about remote.
Yeah.
After, when the
Yeah.
governor let
But
the,
if you have a working meeting,
I was gonna
Okay.
say, it's a work, if we call it a work session and not a
think it's fine.
meeting, I think it's
Yeah,
completely
yeah,
different.
you don't
I've
need
said-
any votes on this, Matt, right? Just directions.
We wanna double check.
And we could probably, in my opinion, we could probably knock it out a lot sooner if we're not doing it in person, right?
Right.
It's easier to hook up,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know, via
Okay.
than in person. So,
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, anything else?
nope,
yeah.
all set.
All right, meeting adjourned.
all right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.